Hi guys, so I thought I'd just do a little intro to my intro. The video you're about to watch was very impromptu to film. It's something I've been wanting to film for a while, but it just so happened that my other half was at the yard doing some fence maintenance, and I thought, oh, perfect day to film it. So I'm just going to apologise that I always pretty much look like a hobo. I'm sorry, as you can see. There's never anything very fancy about me. I dress very much for comfort. So yeah, it's a bit rough and ready for me. I've got hay on the floor, I couldn't be bothered to put it in a bag. Yes, I'm a terrible human being at times, but hopefully you'll be able to watch this video and get from it what I hoped to offer, which was just a little help and advice on how to deal with malanders in your horse. So thanks for tuning in, and I'm going to get into the video. So I'm going to hand back over to past Lucy, who just finished jumping, is a red sweaty mess, and looks like she's been dragged through a hedge backwards. Bye! Hello there. Oh, my ginger skin is really showing right now. The ridiculously fair, and oh my god. So, hi. So I thought I'd do a video of how I look after Bojack's malanders. We have literally just, I'm not sure which order I'm going to do these videos, but I have literally just done a video with us jumping, so that is why I'm a bit warm. He's just had a wash off. But we've got, look, we've got an Ian with us. So Ian came to film some jumping for me, the long-suffering darling that is my other half. I just suddenly thought, oh, while he's here, he can film what I do with Bojack's malanders treatment. So malanders is something that's very common in cobs, malanders and salanders. So malanders affects the knees and salanders affects the front of the hocks, if that makes sense. Yeah, so it's very common in cobs. I'm going to have a chat more about it in my blog, so shaking because it's not a fence post. I think it's done. I'm going to write a blog with a little bit more about malanders and salanders, how it's caused, and how I deal with it. So there's a link in the description below. The biggest way to treat it is from the inside, so you really need to look at the diet your horse is on if they have malanders or salanders. So Bojack's diet is quite carefully chosen. I will do a separate video on his feed at a later date, but the biggest thing I need to make sure he doesn't have any of, my chin looks really dark. The biggest thing I need to make sure is out of his diet is alfalfa, so he can't have like alpha and stuff like that. So we have to make sure any chaff he gets doesn't have any alfalfa in it, and carrots. You also need to make sure that any supplements you give them don't have biotin or keratin in. Not that you normally feed keratin to horses, but like biotin, so any hoof supplements, because that's going to cause lots of issues with malanders. Again, I would explain in the blog, because I want to check I've got all my facts right and write it down, because I think that'll be easier than me trying to like spiel it out. So I would be very surprised if a horse with malanders or salanders had issues with their feet, because basically the body produces too much keratin, and that is why you're always getting like scabs by the knees and in front of the hocks. So I'm going to show you. Oh, he's packing up. Fence is fixed again. I can't blame him. As you can see, we've got no grass. It hasn't rained in weeks. It started raining the other day and we were like, yes! And then an hour later it dried up. So I can't blame him. He keeps breaking fences. So I'm going to show you how I look after Bojack's malanders. And all you need is 2 simple products and a nit comb. So first of all, I start with my Medicare shampoo. So this I do once a week. I do this just to keep on top of it, because I feel if I leave it more than once a week, it can get a little out of control. Unfortunately, this is a condition that you will be managing it forever. It will never go away. So first of all, I'm going to just get where he has his malanders. So I'll just hold up the feathers. So can you see he's got these scabs, and when it gets bad, it can end up being quite cracked and broken skin there. This is looking quite good at the moment. There's very little kind of detritus, as I call it, but if I left that for a couple of weeks and only put cream on a couple of times a week, we'd probably have a bit of an issue there. So he's got really thick feathers, so I'm not worried about getting it all wet, but I just want to get in and just scrub in. Now a lot of horses get very sore, very delicate, so you want to be as gentle as possible. Bojack had, as Ian from behind the camera, got quite, you saw how quickly horses turn the other day, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. Bojack, I hadn't put cream on for about 5 days. I had just, you know what, I just forgotten, which is ridiculous because since I've had this horse, he has had his knees creamed every day. Lockdown, everything's going a bit to pot and you just forget and it all blurs, and I was like, have I done anything? And he had got this massive scab here. I find it's worse on his white leg than his black leg, but white skin obviously is a little more delicate. And I had washed and I was combing through, and Bojack literally struck out with that back leg. I was wearing a hat, struck out with that back leg, missed me by like that much, spun and just ran down the field, and Ian's face was like, oh my god. So even the most placid, you see now he's stopped eating because he's like, oh, I'm worried it's going to hurt again in a minute. So just be nice and gentle with them. So I'm just going to add that in, and I'm quite happy. Like here you can see like that darkness, that's from where the cream kind of like pulls down. I put cream on every couple of days, and as it just travels down the feathers, it just kind of brings all the excess skin and keratin and stuff with it. So I'm not too worried about that. I will pop a bit of shampoo on just to get that out, but I'm not too worried about that. I also take this opportunity, I like to get down and just split the feathers here and there. He has in the past had a bit of greasy kind of heel, so I like to get down and just literally, you can see how much feather he's got, but just split the feather. And can you see that? I just like to get right down so I can just check the, you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just try to get the shadow on it because it bears in the sun.
There. Oh, there. That better?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just like to do that and just headbutt cameras. And when I do that, I'm just checking on the quality of the skin underneath the feathers. So I'm going to do the other leg now. And as you can see, my really relaxed, chilled horse, already he's stopped eating. He's not getting stressed, but he's just kind of going, oh, this has hurt occasionally in the past. So if you don't keep on top of malanders, it can become quite an issue for them. So I'm just going to part these feathers so you get an idea. So again, you can just see, and it is just like greasy scabs. The skin, it just produces all this keratin that comes out in these greasy scabs, and when they're quite greasy and flaky and coming off, it's not an issue, but as I say, when they start clumping, that's when you have the problems. And I'm very lucky because he only has malanders and I don't have salanders, and salanders will go all down here as well, but we've never really had that. So I'm just going to rub this in, and this Medicare, I love it. It smells beautiful. It's effective relief for skin issues, nourishes the skin and hair, and great for preventative use. And I love it. So it's got, let me read the proper spiel, it's got tea tree and lemongrass oil. So it not only smells great, but they are really good. Healing, I think they're antibacterial, antimicrobial and fungicidal. Lemongrass is also an antiseptic, fungicidal and insecticidal. So you're covering kind of all the bases. So this is, it's not only for when you have a flare up, it's going to be lovely and soothing for them, but it also means that you're using those preventative measures. So even when it's like this and it's not flaring up and it's just maintenance, you're keeping on top of it and keeping those legs nice and healthy. So I rub that in. So I've rubbed it all in, and now I'm going to leave it to set for about 10 minutes. So I'm going to give him his breakfast, and then I'm going to rinse it off and comb through. Now I'm going to wash it off and I'm going to comb through. So Ian's going to step back a bit, just in case we have a reaction. I don't think we will, he's been fine the last few times I've done this. So I rinse it out first of all, and then I'm just going to comb through to get all the scabs and stuff out. Come, give me kisses. So first of all, Medicare as well. How white is that? That's the Medicare shampoo. You should see what happens when I use the purple shampoo. So I'm being very gentle. He's stopped eating. Do you want to just, he's going, oh, something's going on. So you want to be really gentle and always keep your comb going down. Don't come in like that, because if you go in like that, you can hit that scab, you can hit any delicate skin, and you'll know about it. Obviously, if your horses can get so sensitive about this, always wear your riding hat, correct PPE. And another trick is if your horse is getting quite sensitive, so when Bojack was really sensitive on this leg, I stood the other side. So I would stand and comb the other leg like that, so that if they have a problem, more often than not, they'll strike out with the back leg near the issue. So if you're here and he struck out with that leg, you'd be fine. So if he was getting funny with this leg, I'd go to the other side, comb across like this, or I do this, and then if he had an issue or he struck out or did anything, that leg's going to come forward and I'm safely this side of the horse. So I'm just starting at the top and going down. Now the reason I use a plastic nick comb, you can get a pack of 2 of these for like 90p. The reason I use a plastic one is because if there's any snags and snarls in the coat, the plastic, you can see it bends and it will break. It also means that if you do catch them, it's only plastic. Obviously you can get metal combs and stuff, but I just think that's going to be a little too harsh if you catch them. So I've done the outside, and then going to come in, just do a little parting, and then work down. Do another little parting, and then I'm going to work down. And all the time, you know what, if you can't get right up close to the skin, it's alright, you just want to get most of it out. I'm going to do a little parting, combing through. And because I put that shampoo on and I let it sit for a bit even, let it sit for like 10 minutes, and that's just given the chance for any scabs, anything like that. You see there's some there, so I'm just being nice and gentle, it's given that a chance to really soften up. Because if you came in at this with dry scabs, dry legs, dry feathers, I think you're definitely going to have a problem. So obviously naturally they lose hair, so I'm not worried about the hair that's coming out there. It's still officially in spring, even though it's so blooming hot, but the hair's coming out, that's just natural. Look at these lovely feathers growing in, buddy. Good lad. Good boy. Then you just end up with that. Nice, isn't it? Should we get that in the shade? There, you see. So that is just getting out all that detritus, as I call it. So you should be able to come in. I'm not going to comb anymore, but now you can see from how it was before, you've got nice, lovely, all the scabs are gone, she says. Scabs are gone. You've got lovely pink happy skin. You see that all right? See that okay?
Yep.
Yeah. So just going to rinse off the other side. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing here. Starting on the outside. now. So as you can see, there tends to be a lot less on his black legs, on his black leg. And he's got the one front leg that's black, so that tends to take a little less time. And once we comb through down, keep it dry off. And I'm always aware whenever I watch back my videos, I look like I'm being really aggressive, don't I?
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm being nice and soft, just to towel it off, because the other thing you don't want to do is when I've got this all wet and then you've got all this feather, and you don't want to trap moisture, because that's how bacteria grows and things like that. So no, malanders isn't caused by things like that, but the last thing you want to do is trap moisture in a nice warm environment, because then you're opening yourself up for so many other skin complaints and skin issues. So whenever you're washing, just give it a good towel dry as well. I'm not worried about down here. The water has literally just drained off like water on duck's back. Nice and yellow, baby. So I'm just getting in there, giving it a good. See how white that is? See, even medical is Cetraban. So this is for people. This you can buy on Put It Away. He's relaxed now. Children might be watching Bojack. Not even bothered.
No.
Just read the uses. It's a moisturising and protective cream for the relief of skin symptoms such as red, inflamed, dry or chapped skin, especially when associated with eczema. So this is for humans. Loads of people that have horses with malanders use it. You can get, I think I got 3 big pots like this for, it was like $9.99 or $19.99 from Amazon, Prime member. And this, when I first got him, he was out of control. His legs were a mess when I first got him. So I was easily getting through a tub of this a month. Now, you know what, that's when I first bought him. I got 4 of these, and this is the last one. And I bought him in October 2018. So one of these easily, when you're just doing maintenance, lasts months. Really easy, swish open. I just put a little bit out. And then you want to make sure you really get in, and you want to part the hair. Really part it and get right down to the skin. Really get it in there. So when I've done a fresh wash, I do put a fair bit on. So I want to part that hair in numerous places, and I want to make sure there's a nice amount of cream, because I think whenever you've washed anything, you want to then make sure you're conditioning and moisturising after. You know, the medic hair isn't particularly drying, his feathers feel good, his skin feels good, but again, because we're maintaining, we're wanting to get that in there. As you can see, it goes in really nicely. You know, some people said I use Sudocrem. Sudocrem for me is too thick, it's too much of a barrier. What this does, it's going to get to the skin, keep it moisturised, but it's going to allow it to breathe. And I'm just going to get right in there. And then I just tidy it up a bit so it doesn't look too much of a scruff. Do the other side. Get it in. And I think if you've got a horse with malanders and feathers, it's really important that when you pick out their feet, you don't go down and pick up like this, because otherwise when you're trying to deal with their malanders, they'll go, I've got to pick up my foot. So when I pick up his feet, he normally gets more of a tap to say, pick up your foot. So there's a little tip, because sometimes you'll be doing this and every time you do that, the horse is like, oh, she wants me to pick up my foot. I just got that in. and then we're done. So what I do now is every day I part the hair and I have a look. So without fail, morning and night, I just have a little part and I have a little look every day. And I see how it's looking each day as to whether I put cream on. The most I will ever go is 2 days. So he will have cream at least, yeah, so we'll have 2 days off. He will have cream every 3rd day at least. Sometimes I put it on every day, it all depends. And as I say, I do this once a week and that just keeps it nice and manageable and in control. Even in the winter, I will always bring warm water up, or I've got a shower, so I plug that in. First of all, your hands will get really cold in the winter, and also it will help with the drying if you're using hot water rather than cold water, and also for them it's nicer, and it will also help soften all the scabs and stuff. I just use cold today because look at it. So that's it. So I hope you found this useful. As I said, check out my blog below. I will have written out a better description of what malanders is, and I will write out exactly what I do and how I look after it. Thank you so much for tuning into my video about how I look after Bojack's malanders. If you found it useful, please give it a little like, give it a little thumbs up. If you have any comments, just pop them below. And if you'd like to see more content like this or follow our adventure, don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye!